it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, grand record for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Tuesday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with Austin Ward tonight, and of course, Rhyme Time behind the glass. A-Ward Sports. Happy, beautiful Tuesday evening we're having here in Central Ohio.
I tell you what, Beamer, I walked to the corner to the bus stop to get Liberty.
Be
right
careful how you phrase that.
It's picking her up from school.
Okay.
There was this bright, just beaming orb hanging in the sky. And I was like, man, it's hot out here.
What the heck is this?
What is this? What's going on?
At all 4 seasons, I feel like in the 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock hour.
Right there.
It was rainy. It was thunderstorms outside. And then it became not rainy, and it became beautiful.
It was right there at 4 o'clock. It was humid. I was like, we're transitioning from one.
I was talking to Meredith about that last night. She goes, oh, it's going to be warm here this weekend. I'm like, we're 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from June. It should be warm out.
I told you. We're on the other side, baby.
Yeah, we are.
We're there.
Broke on through to the other side.
Welcome back to the San Diego of the
How's
Midwest.
Lib doing at school? She doing all right? She getting ready for summer break?
Boy, I tell you what, this camp week that they've got going on.
What does that entail?
I was not familiar, but the second graders at Daniel Wright, great staff of teachers there, and they've gone full bore camp week. Today, Liberty, they were allowed to bring in a sleeping bag and a flashlight and a stuffy for reading time.
Okay.
I don't know what all they've got going in there, but every day there's something. S'mores.
When is their last week?
Oreos.
The week of Memorial Day? So next week?
Next Friday's the last day, which is a half day.
You do camp week that week.
That's what I would have thought. That's what I would have expected. But they're doing it this week, and she's loving it. She's been so excited. Sunday night, she said, I can't sleep. It's camp week.
So excited to go to
She
school.
got up at like 7 a.m.
Nerd.
Camp week's here. I don't think they're actually learning anything. I mean, I hope
learning how to camp.
Yeah, maybe. Tomorrow is Super Games. So
that sounds something like I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I remember having those when I was a kid, but I don't remember having camp week. But she's fired up for it, man. She's just loving it. And she was, before I came in to do the show last night, because she brought down the big, like, 3-pound flashlight. Mm-hmm. The big guy
the
you need
industrial strength.
when the tornadoes come in, this is what you need. Or if an intruder comes in, you bash him in the skull with it. That flashlight. I said, you're not taking that to school.
You don't need that.
What are you doing?
It's a weapon.
I've given you plenty, probably hundreds of toy flashlights in your life. Give or take 100.
It can't be that dark in school at that time of day.
She spent an hour and a half. She's like, can you help me find it? I said, no. If you can't find one of these flashlights I got you, that's on you. And then they made lanterns while they were at school anyway.
Oh, so you didn't even need the flashlight. They already had the lantern.
What was all this for?
They're good to go. We got a great show lined up for you here tonight. Coming up in our next segment, we'll be talking about how the NFL may be encroaching on college football's territory. We got some schedule release stuff. I don't even know when the schedule release comes out. I think it's tomorrow officially, but I feel like if you follow a team, you kind of already know their schedule, even though it hasn't officially been announced. So we got some of that stuff to go over coming up here in our next segment around 6:17 this evening. 10 TV's beautiful Adam King. He's going to join us coming up here at 6:30. A lot of recruiting news happening in Buckeye land right now. We will go on the trail around 6:46. And then if Austin and I didn't cover that enough,
double down, baby.
Recruiting expert Jeremy Birmingham, a.k.a. Berm, half of the dynamic duo of Austin and Berm. He's going to join us coming up here at 7:30 this morning. You and I were talking a little bit about yesterday, just some changes happening around college football and, the college landscape and the House bill getting ready to kick in and whatnot. And, I feel like all through the day today and yesterday on these airwaves, been talking about Ross Bjork perhaps wanting to implement some changes. And we talked about it a little bit last night with the possible sale of the Ohio State-Michigan game coming up. And, I know this is a big deal for a lot of people. Whatever Ohio State sport you go to, whether it's a football game on Saturdays in the fall, whether it's a men's or women's basketball game, whether it's an ice hockey game, lacrosse at their brand new shiny facility they got over there, the Ty Tucker Tennis Center, like whatever it is, you probably have a gripe about something, that your game day experience didn't go well. For you, a man who covers Ohio State football, he does it for a living. You go to the Horseshoe all the time. Now, you're 30,000 feet up in the air, up in the press box. But if you were to change something about game day atmospheres at Ohio Stadium, Austin, what would you say would be the need for the biggest change in that venue?
I think I'm going to steal from one that I actually know is a priority for Ross Bjork. And he's talked about this specifically, whether it was with you and Bob. Berm and I had an interview with him in December. He was talking with Dan Hope in 11 Warriors recently. He keeps coming back to this point about the in-game atmosphere and making sure that the fan base is engaged and supporting the team at all costs.
Well, because, it is a long time to engage, right?
It's
you
difficult.
talk about 3.5, 4 hours these games are now lasting with TV inventory and commercials, and you got to keep the fans lively in the stadium.
And the experience for Ross Bjork and a bunch of the members of the front office of Ohio State Athletics, if we're just going to fully professionalize the way we even talk about it, Oregon did a phenomenal job of balancing, okay, you have to have some sponsored elements to your game, and you're going to use the stoppages of play to implement that. But, man, there would be TV timeouts where 55,000 people were just singing a song, and they knew that was the time that song was going to come on, and they were going to dance, and they were going to party, and they were going to lean into it. And
so you're saying hang on, Sloopy, for every commercial break?
Maybe not everyone. you got to be creative. You don't want to be repetitive. But I think things like the Brutus race, the knocker ball, I can't speak for every single person who's in there. There's 100,000 people in there, and that's also the challenge of entertaining that many people and keeping them engaged. They're not all going to like the same thing. Newsflash, anything out there is not this radio show.
Yes.
Is not going to impress 100% of the audience of the fan.
Lucky if we get to 10.
We're going to try to bump that number up the best that we can, but no product of any kind is ever going to please every single person. So you have to also approach it that way with the balancing act. But when you ask me what things keep the Horseshoe from being the liveliest at its best, when you have the game, when Penn State is there, I don't ever feel like there's any issue. But
we're a big game crowd.
But even that's true, and every stadium is actually that way deep down.
Yeah.
Which is the real secret, is that you can't duplicate that. The best thing that you could do is have 12 meaningful games and not play Grambling.
Hey, don't get crazy.
But sorry, I got distracted. What did I just say? Nothing but Big Ten games? Oh, I'm going back into my broken records. Never mind. The thing that you can do then is once they had to remove some of those elements, and you think back to the preparation for the first round playoff game against Tennessee, some of the things were there, but a lot of them weren't. And it's not just
the light shows, the drone shows.
It's not just about drones,
deal, right?
Not just about the lights. Those things are part of it.
Yeah, you also brought in a top 10 SEC opponent for a meaningful college football game in December, and something like you had never seen before.
But I think that was a forced test run of, all right, well, what can you do that's not reliant on a brand sponsoring this activation or this brand doing that, and you're kicking a field goal? Those things have their place, and I'm not saying that they have to disappear entirely.
The Columbus Clippers are good for that. The Columbus Clippers are amazing. If you want to go and you want to have a great time with a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, a gaggle of a softball team or a baseball team, and they're running around and they want to do that, that is a great place to go and take the family. It is hard to do and translate that to a packed stadium when you're in there like sardines, when you have 105,000 people next to each other.
And they have different bills to pay if you are the Columbus Clippers. Like, they don't have a television deal. They don't have billions of dollars of revenue coming in from that for their conference or licensing agreements for the school specifically. So, yes, Ohio State needs these revenue streams, especially with the House settlement kicking in. But finding that balance, I know, has been the priority for Ross Bjork for the last, when was that game? October? Since then, however many months that's been, 7, 8, even before then. They know they can't ignore that problem because you have to have people in the Horseshoe, and those people have to be engaged, and you don't want them to leave at halftime. And I think some of this stuff gets the commercial breaks are monotonous for everyone, and I'm not sure that you can fill every single one with something that's going to keep people fully locked into a game, because the other part of it is, as you mentioned, Beamer, Ohio State doesn't actually play that many competitive games because they're so good. So that also makes it more complicated. I think the rest of it, Ohio State does as good a job as anybody in the country. And I know that will sound like, I don't know, hyperbole, a product of living here.
You've been to a lot of these stadiums. You've done that a lot of times.
It's hard. Ohio State fans and then the Ohio State program, I think they do a better job of keeping their fan base engaged. And are there things that are 100% aced every single time? Definitely not. But man, I've been to some others that are like, why would anyone do this? Yeah. Why? Like,
milk was a bad choice.
Tennessee spent years trying to figure out, why can't we get people to come watch Tennessee baseball here? Oh, well, probably because it's all the huge pile of garbage that's out behind left field. Maybe get rid of that and give something a little more scenic to look at. So that's obviously a very specific example. But I think I don't think they're tearing down the west side of the stadium so you can see the Olentangy. No, they're not. But you brought up all the other sports and like volleyball and stuff that's in the Covelli is great. Mm-hmm. Are there things that can be improved? Definitely.
I'm sure.
The Horseshoe is a cathedral of college football. Are there things that can be improved? Yeah. And I do think that Ross Bjork and his team are very open to doing that because they know that this existential crisis of attendance and broadcast deals is still hanging out there for them. It hasn't vanished. And it becomes more difficult if you have to fund your roster through fan and sponsor engagement at the same time.
The NFL seems to be encroaching on college football's territory. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of clouds around, pretty mild with scattered showers and a few storms possible on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the low to mid-70s. Overnight, mainly cloudy skies and temperatures starting off your Wednesday around 60 degrees. Again, the chance of scattered showers and a few late-day storms on Wednesday with highs in the mid-70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Buckeyes, all the time. You are listening to The Buckeye Show.
All right, friends, Beamer here. I dropped 70 pounds at the Wake in 180. How many did you drop?
50, baby.
120 combined. Look at that quick math on the fly. Felt like finally finishing a massive home renovation. You know, job done. Everything looking sharp. But listen, gets better. On my first free monthly maintenance, and I found out I lost another 4 pounds without even really trying. It's like discovering an extra room in your house, and you never knew it was there. Awaken 180, it's not about meds or quick fixes. It's about learning exactly how to stock your fridge and pantry with the right tools. I still eat plenty, still drink beer on the weekends, still feel satisfied, and now making healthy choices. It's like a second nature, like flipping the light switch on the first try in the dark. My body's firing on all cylinders. The glutes are activated. I'm down 75 pounds total without medications or hunger tricks. Just real education on eating smarter and feeling fantastic. Call Awaken 180 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll learn the blueprint. That's a tough word to say on the fly. Your only regret is not calling them sooner. 844-346-1800. Again, online at awaken180weightloss.com. I do really feel good about running around with Willie now. Yeah. I sweat less when we're getting to the hotter months of the year. That's why I wanted to do this in the winter time. Because then I do find myself on like a 60-degree day wearing a hoodie while I'm golfing. I'm like, that would have been crazy last year at this point.
Did you feel the swing changes a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. I felt it right out of the gate because the first time that I played, I wasn't down 70 pounds yet, but it was 50-something at that time. And we played in early March. We went down to Pinehurst. And it was all over the place, as you know, right out of the wintertime. I think that week there was a 98 in there was a 78 in there, and there was an 88 in there. But the swing feels good. The problem that I have now is I'm actually rotating too much, and I'm hitting my ball left. I'm drawing it.
You're an athlete.
Some people say that.
I just did.
A lot of people don't.
Well, you're just getting ready for Marysville.
Yeah.
Had a conversation with the Ridge Golf and Gardens.
Are we confirmed?
Oh, we are locked in,
okay,
baby.
Good.
I was talking to Justin this morning. We got it locked in. I can't wait. Countdown's on. I'm really just anxious to see what drama emerges with the field that makes me scramble at the last minute, because I thought we were going to avoid that last year, and we didn't. So,
confirmed, are we going for a 12-man field or 16-man field this year?
So,
because last year, Reimer, do you want to play in this?
I mean, I'd be down.
All right, it's 36 holes over at the Ridge. Now, I am not the commissioner, okay, but on an off chance where Austin decides to go to 16 instead of 12. Last year, he said he would never go to 16 again. More people have said that they want to play in it, but that's the problem, because then literally 4 hours until our tee time, you wake up to a text saying, hey, I'm out. That's an issue.
Without fail. And last year, it was a tour member with 4 career appearances, the most reliable.
Selfish.
Oh, my back. This guy played quarterback at Ohio State, and his back is too sore to go out and play 36 holes at the Ridge. Give me a break. So I'm talking with Justin, and he said, well, what do you need? How many guys are going to be in? I said, well, I know 12 is a lock. We don't have issues with 12, but they're all going to ask me to go to 16 again.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, all right, well, I put you down for 4 tee times. If you don't need it, tell me 2 weeks before. I'm like, that's 2 weeks before?
Too much.
That's
2 hours is what we can guarantee.
Last year, I had to adjust the format like on the drive over to the Ridge. Like, what are we doing?
Nobody knows. But we're still fighting for Dottie.
We are. Dottie Pepper time, baby. Reimer, I don't know. If Reimer comes back from his guys' trips with vertigo, I'm not sure if he can handle the Ridge.
I'm not sure he can handle
this one will be
either.
much different.
You say that now, buddy,
it's
but listen.
85-degree weather, and I will be driving in a car, not flying in 40 degrees.
You say that.
Sounds like somebody's never had Allie's Jell-O shots.
Because it's Tuesday. Once you get down there and you get to Friday and Saturday, everybody in this room and listening on the air knows how that's going to go for you.
I'll be here. Okay. I'll be here, and I'll be locked in.
I can't wait to preview that on Thursday.
What do you think the over on, what's the odds? What's the live Vegas odds on Reimer being in on Monday or calling off sick? I'm going to say it's a heavy minus 135 he's going to be here, but there's a plus like 210 hanging out that he's not.
Yeah, those are intriguing odds on the not.
Yeah.
The man's he's going to a major with his buddies and he's playing golf.
All I got to say is minus 135, minus 140 is my specialty.
Okay. So you're hammering it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's betting on himself.
Kind of like Pete Rose did. And he got into the Hall of Fame today, apparently. Didn't get into the Hall of Fame.
The pathway is clear.
Now he's eligible. We'll get into that a little bit later. That was too easy of an alley to insert that in there. So the NBA on Christmas has long been a standing thing. Of course, we all know that. Reimer, you're a big basketball guy. You're an NBA on Christmas guy, right?
Absolutely. And I don't like the changes that are coming.
Okay, Fox Sports announced yesterday that it's going to broadcast 2 games Saturday, December 20th. Why is that date of importance, you ask? Well, those are the first round of the college football playoff games. And those are also 2 NFL games. Now, we saw this exact same situation happen last year. It's an NFC clash between the Commies and the Eagles, and then you get the Packers and the Bears. Times were not announced yet, but knowing it's a college football Saturday and the way that it worked last year, there were 3 games. Now, there's going to be 2 NFL games. It's going to be a 4 o'clock. It's going to be an 8 o'clock start for the NFL games, or a 3 o'clock and a 7 o'clock, whatever that's going to be. It's going to be going straight up head-to-head again with the first round of these college football playoff games.
Now, if I remember right, I think they went 1-4 last year because they didn't want to. They didn't know, but Ohio State, Tennessee was like the closest game in terms of ratings to what the NFL drew, which was they got like a 15.4.
Man, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah, and so I was reading about that because I remember it. And it didn't affect me because I was going to be covering Ohio State, Tennessee, no matter what. Wasn't worried about NFL regular season games. But it didn't feel like an apples to apples comparison. It's not anyway. It's the NFL game and compared to playoff games, but they were also terrible playoff games. Like Penn State and SMU that
game was
not competitive.
That was disgusting.
And then the other lowest rated game of the weekend there was Clemson and Texas. So
remember that? Did we come off the Friday, the Notre Dame Indiana Friday, and we're all like, "See, Indiana should have never got in," and it was actually the closest game of the weekend.
Yeah.
And a team that actually went to the college football playoff national championship emerged from that game. I agree. I mean, it was over quickly. Indiana, they did not go down. They did not go down without a little bit of a fight. But to your point, they were also really bad games.
And when they are considering this for the future, and by they now in this case, I'm talking about the college football playoff, the NCAA, the Big Ten, the SEC. Do you want more of those games? Because here's what's going to continue to happen. If you're going to put more meaningful games on Saturdays in December, then the NFL is going to respond in kind, and they're going to keep moving more games to Saturday in December. And that's going to make it more difficult for you to maximize the audience and maximize the value of those games, which, again, I hate that this is the way that the conversation has to go, but everything when it comes to in-stadium atmosphere or the future of the college football playoff, if you're funding the rosters, it all is going to come back to how much money you can possibly make to sustain that enterprise. It is no longer purely about the sanctity of student athletes and amateurs. And that is the difficulty that they continue to run into with all these decisions. Should the NFL be trying to imperialize every single day on the calendar?
No, they should also be wary when it comes to their free program that is a feeder system directly into them with already made stars, and you make the draft the thing that 13 million people watch a year of just dudes walking up on a stage having their names picked.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's the thing. They've done this with Christmas. Now they're doing this with the college football playoff. And the truth is that they can, because the NFL is the most dominant television property that exists. But there is a risk for that. And I think they have to be careful. But the NCAA has to be careful, too, because if they're going to trot out, I don't know, a 1-16 blowout at the same time that the Chiefs are playing the Raiders, well, I think America's going to make their voice pretty well known with what channel they're turning on.
2 games that went head-to-head brought up the rear with the NFL, okay? Clemson and Texas at 8.6 million. Penn State and SMU is 6.4 in comparison to Notre Dame with 13.4 when they played Indiana, and Ohio State against Indiana with 14 million. The other 2 games, though, in the NFL, each above 15 plus.
Yeah. I mean, those were primetime games. The other, Ohio State, Tennessee, obviously, and then Notre Dame, Indiana. An intrigue with the first one on a Friday night. It became more competitive late. It felt like it was over early, but the score wasn't necessarily indicative of that in the fourth quarter. But the other 2 games, they weren't competitive at all. And that's the problem as you continue with expansion, is you're going to have more bad games. You're not adding more Ohio State, Texas games.
Yeah.
You're adding whatever. Ole Miss against Kansas State. I don't know.
Lane Kiffin would
whoever's
be pumped
whoever's going to win the Big 12. So, that's the kind of stuff that is the risk that you run. And that's not a reason that they shouldn't do it, because 16 does make more sense than 12. But they're also going to have to adjust their own calendar. The whole season has to be moved up, but the playoff does too.
10 TV's beautiful Adam King. He joins us here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here, Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, got Rhyme Time behind the glass. We're now joined in studio. I have a question for you. He is 10 TV's Adam King.
Television's Adam King.
Television's Adam King.
I have an answer
one of our
for you.
great chatters on YouTube had a great question for you. Said, ask Adam if he bronzes his ankles.
Do I bronze my ankles?
Yeah.
If you think that I need to put bronzer on my ankles, you're ridiculous. They are shown enough that they get tan. It's the rest of the leg that has to get bronzer.
How's your farmer's tan going? How do you work on that during the summer? I know you're a big golfer.
Yeah.
How do you avoid it?
I don't. I stand in the mirror and I look and I think, boy, that's like two different people out there. The week after the memorial, because I'm out there sun up to sundown.
Oh, it must be nice.
It's a job, Austin, okay? It is nice. I'm out there sun up to sundown, and I come back home, and I look literally like it's just white as paper, and then the most tan I ever am in my life.
I wore like ankle tape in high school, and I still, because we'd get down in the huddle, and what we would do for some fun and hijinks with each other is we'd rip each other's leg hair out when we were standing in the huddle. I can't grow hair above like the quarter-way point of my leg, and I'm pretty sure I still have a tan line from the tape that then I wore to try to avoid getting my leg hairs ripped out.
This was such an intense game that you wore tape on your leg to prevent your friends from
it was every day. I mean, it was all day during two-a-days. It would be in like our little practices that we would have, obviously all the way through the season. I mean,
were you a part of the longest yard? Is that where you were?
Kind of. It was a disaster out there. You always had to be ready. You had to be ready to rock.
Jeez, that'll toughen you up real quick.
I mean, didn't you used to hear the old bumper about his coach and working at the gas station? This is an intense team.
That's how you build winners.
There's a lot of bonding going on. And it had long-term consequences.
And long-term bonding.
He doesn't have his leg hair anymore.
No, it's gone. It's fried.
Brutal.
Maybe that's a reason I can't grow facial hair.
Did they rip it off your Beam?
No,
if they ripped it off your face too, that's when you call somebody,
that's
all right?
Brother. No, they didn't do that to me. They were all
hurt
good.
you?
They were all good on that. What do you got going on? What are you most looking forward to here this week, next week? I know that we got the Memorial Tournament coming up here in a little bit.
The Memorial's a big thing. I just think this time of year gives a chance to kind of sneak into other topics.
Totally.
Like later this week, going to talk to Sonny Styles about and his brother Lorenzo about this sleep out thing they do every year, which is really cool. They sleep out. And they've done it every single year, and it's remarkable. We've covered it every year. Sadly, it's during the Memorial this year, so I can't get out there. But going to talk to them. Like, those are the side stories that I love to find in May, because with the Memorial, and then it's Media Day, and then it's fall camp, and then you hit the ground running until the end of March Madness, and
the
so
man just skipped over June entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Well, that's the unofficial start of summer. Is the Memorial Tournament.
That is when
June.
I am on vacation.
Oh, okay. That's when he's at Disney.
Yeah. That's when I'm at Disney with Austin.
Are you a Disney adult?
So, Reimer, how have you enjoyed your new...
he won't admit to it. He is one.
Well, there's nothing
he tried
to be ashamed.
deny
Austin is a Disney adult. It's fine.
We were at the Cotton Bowl, and he was talking to me about Disney, and some people walked up and they heard that, and a couple females, and they said, "Oh, well, are you a Disney adult, Adam?" He said, "No,
Adam, you don't have to be ashamed of it."
And I said, "Hold on a minute. I have a child.
Mickey.
And I take my child to Disney. Like, Adam, do you have a child, or are you two Disney adults?"
I have a child.
Yeah.
It's breaking news. Mm-hmm. I don't like the characters. I just want to say that.
What?
I'm not like one of the people that, like, when Mickey rounds the corner, I'm like, Mickey! Like, the rides are fun. You know, the rides are a good time. You know?
Reimer, are you a Disney adult?
Yeah, but I'm not a rides guy.
So
you're
the
wrong kind of Disney adult.
So and Adam can go together, and it would be like the perfect marriage. He would enjoy the rides. You would enjoy Mickey.
This is why I always say that there's something for everyone at Disney.
Now, wait a minute, Reimer.
I go for the food.
You go for, okay,
Epcot,
it does have good food. It does have
He
really
drinks
good
around
food.
the world and then gets vertigo.
Absolutely.
I just like to imagine Reimer walking in, and he's just by himself. Nobody with him. And he just says, "Where's Mickey? Where is he?"
Are you not a ride guy because you're so tall and you can't fit in them? Or do you just not? Do you actually get vertigo?
I want to avoid the dizziness after a ride.
Okay.
I don't think you
No
understand
teacups for that guy.
Absolutely not. No chance.
I mean, I don't think I've ever met quite the odd couple like that. You like the rides, you hate the rides, but you love Mickey.
It just fits right together there, Reimer.
Absolutely.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
What a match.
This is like a perfect marriage together.
We'll just get together at dinner after all of it, and he'll tell me his experience, I'll tell him his, and it's all of Disney.
Let's go to Epcot, drink around the world.
Exactly.
You guys would have a great time doing that together.
Bean, this is exciting for me. I just want to say we didn't get the introductory part because we jumped right in, which I love. But I'm so excited to have you here and to to the Buckeye Show. It's a new era here. I like it.
It's weird seeing people in the office.
Yeah, I don't get to see you very often, but
I know.
I've always enjoyed you, and now I get to hang out with you more.
I'm glad I get to hang out with you too. That's why I barricaded myself in the studio a little bit earlier.
So he's thankful for that. I'm in here hanging with you, and now I'm begging King to come on with the Austin Berm Show to do Talking Tuesday. So he was on our episode that aired this morning.
Wow.
We got a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of pre-recorded episode at the Woody from
Yes, yes. It was Talking Tuesdays.
I have
recorded on Monday.
I think Berm got really sick because like for 3, 4, 5 years, I just kept making that joke that I would say like today is Tuesday, and obviously it's not. It was recorded a day in advance. So I haven't done that yet with this new iteration of the show. And I didn't use that with Adam. I was like, here we are on Tuesday at 5 a.m. outside the Woody. I don't think people would have bought it.
I don't lie to the listeners.
That's right. I know.
All right.
I couldn't drag you into my deceit.
Yeah, I don't want to be in your web of fake TV, all right?
I'm on real TV, damn it.
I'm on real TV.
That's what I was concerned about. I was like, is he even going to want to do these shows because I'm fake TV?
What'd you guys get into? What were you talking about? What was the topic du jour?
The biggest thing, I think, was probably the Ohio State-Michigan argument with the national title argument. And that just lights a fire in me that it's...
So what would you rather win? What would you rather have argument?
It's the stupidest argument on earth. And that's not a popular opinion. A lot of people understand they want to beat Michigan. As understandable as that is, it's really cool to win a national title. They don't give out rings for beating Michigan. They don't give out giant trophies.
They give out gold pants.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
The last time you're going to invite me, and you're going to, the one passionate thing that I have, you're coming after on day one. They give out gold pants. They're very cool. You know what? Tyvus doesn't wear his gold pants every day when he's walking around. You know what he does wear?
National championship ring.
Not a chance. I actually asked where that is. It's at his mom's. He wears his wedding ring, though.
Cleveland Guardians hat.
Exactly. Cleveland Guardians hat.
Allie was watching the show in the kitchen during lunch, and she said, I'm really sad that this wasn't on YouTube today for people to just blow up the comments when Adam was getting so passionate. I said, I'm really glad it's not, because it's much better this way.
I will die on that hill. I just feel, so Beam, I grew up in Columbus, went to Gahanna High School, and people love to come after me and say, you don't know what it means
You're born
to
a
be.
Buckeye?
Yeah, you don't know what the rivalry means.
Yeah.
I know the rivalry just as much as anybody. I've never missed a Buckeye football game since I was yay high. And
Since
for those
Bo
listening,
Schlemmblocker
yes,
is in charge.
And I stand where I stand. All right.
On business.
On business.
As long
Listen
as
to the podcast, you can hear the full rant.
Listen, as long as you're passionate about something and you bring minimal facts. It's a good job, Austin.
I meant...
We know what you meant. We know what you meant. You can find it on Austin Berm, 10 TV Plus. It's out there. As long as you bring minimal facts and a very passionate rage about something, you're good.
That is my life.
He was very passionate.
Were you playing devil's advocate, or were you just on the other side?
I don't even know if Austin was there for half of it.
I was just so thankful, because usually I'm in that position where I'm saying the national championship is more important. And Berm's like, you don't get the rivalry. And then everybody in the comments is like,
you live in Michigan.
And then everyone says, Austin doesn't get this. He's from Wyoming. And I say, yes, that's true. I have only covered this team for 13 years, and I'm married into a family that's nothing but Ohio State fans. You're right. I can never appreciate it on that level. I just have to say, you're right. But this time, I just got to stand there, and somebody else was making the exact same argument that I normally make. And he is born and bred into the rivalry. And I just, I was cheering inside.
Gahanna.
Here's the thing. Yeah, our colors were blue and gold there.
It's not Pickerington.
Here's the thing. The rivalry is still incredibly important. And I said this at the end of my rant. You don't have to pick one. Win them both.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys this question. Would Ryan Day be facing immense pressure if he beat Michigan this year but lost along the way in the playoffs?
Yes.
Which is a more pressure-packed offseason for him? The one where he just won a national championship and lost to Michigan and got a $12.5 million annual contract? Or the one in alternate universe land where he beats Michigan at the end of the year and then loses a step along the way during the national championship run?
I hate to cop out on it. It depends on what happens against Texas and Penn State, because that game unfortunately, outside of the rivalry stakes, may not have any impact on going to the playoff or not.
Are you saying this past year?
Yes, this past
he's
year.
saying this past year.
Yes,
Yes.
this past year.
He's saying, and while you think, I think it's the easiest question in the world. I think if they beat Michigan and lose in the playoffs, the argument is, well, you beat a bad Michigan team, and hello, Dom.
Hey,
Dom is, I think Dom's saying goodbye.
Goodbye, Dom.
Goodbye, Dom.
Oh, I thought it was important.
No, I think he's just waving.
Oh, okay.
For those on the YouTube, you can see Dom waving. At the end of the day, people say, well, you beat a bad Michigan team, and then big game Ryan Day, you lost in the playoffs. Instead, you know what they're saying? Ryan Day is one of the best college football coaches in America, arguably the best. One day, he's got to beat Michigan, but other than that, he has proved himself in every other regard.
I agree. I don't even think the argument is close.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for trying to spin that into 2025, and it's hard for me even to think back to 6 months at this point because of everything that happened since.
Adam?
I think he needed to beat Michigan more, but then he won a national title, and guess what? It trumps everything, which makes this argument pretty easy.
Adam, thanks for popping in. What are you up to tonight? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm talking Pete Rose.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he on the show?
He is not, sadly. His grandson, you can hear his thoughts on 10 TV News at 11.
Thanks for the time, buddy. See you later.
Beam.
See you tomorrow.
I'm so excited for the rest of our lives together.
I am too. I'm excited to pop on TV with you every once in a while.
Hey,
say some reckless things live on the air, not on a recorded podcast.
Do that.
See you, Adam. Have a great night.
Thanks.
I'm not going to give you the cut sign. You can talk us for as long as you want here, unlike the former host of the show. Hey, the Buckeyes have offered some pretty big names with a famous legacy name here at Ohio State. We'll tell you that and more as we head on the trail next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10 TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $2,000 off BX 2380 tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by CEC Turf and Tractor in Athens, Canal, Winchester, Lancaster, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota tractors and mowers, or check them out online at CECTurfandTractor.com.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at SchumacherHomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
That's are us when dreams sunk in. That's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us when dreams sunk in. That's are us.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Austin Ward hanging out with me tonight. What is a beautiful Tuesday evening.
I hope it still is. We've been in the studio for a while.
I don't know if it is actually, to be fair. We don't have any windows in here, but I think if I angle my body this way enough, I can see out to a wall, and the wall looks like it is reflecting some sort of sunlight.
It feels like the sun is still out.
Yeah. So
Ryan, have you confirmed?
It might be coming because the Reds are in a rain delay right now.
Oh, no.
That's terrible.
We jinxed it.
White Sox tonight? Reds and White Sox?
That's got to be why it's in a rain delay, just because it's the White Sox.
Yeah, it's got to be. It has to be. Let's go on the trail.
The best kind of power is star power. Let's go on the trail.
Hey, did you see this from earlier on? And again, I'm not a recruiting guru.
You're not?
Austin is.
What?
Berm is more. He's going to join us at 7:30. We'll talk all things recruiting and Ohio State stuff with him.
If you want to get him just like howling in laughter, say what you just said.
What? That you're a recruiting guru? More than me.
Is that true?
I follow it.
Yeah, okay.
I saw that Ohio State...
That means then you've done more than me.
I saw that Ohio State today lost out on what some people thought was going to be a commitment. If you follow it at all, you realize that it was not going to be a commitment, that five-star offensive tackle Jackson Cantwell was down to his final 4. It was really a final 2, Austin. I believe it was between Georgia and Miami for this commitment, and Jackson Cantwell ended up committing to Miami. Now, he did have Ohio State on his final graphic, but I feel like that was not in the cards for Ohio State. That was a long way coming. It may be surprising to Georgia fans that he committed to Miami, but I don't think it's a surprise to Ohio State fans that he committed elsewhere.
I have not heard in several weeks any kind of indication, hey, might need to get ready to write about this guy, might need to record a show about this guy. It felt like it was trending in one direction only. And I think that I haven't met the kid, and I'm just going to generalize about top 5-star offensive line prospects.
You can also generalize about Miami.
And I'm going to do that at the exact same time. If it's, let's say, Tennessee, or if it's Miami, and it is these 5-star offensive line prospects, and they're getting mountains and mountains of cash offered for them, go ahead and take it. I understand why. You should maximize your earnings while you can. B, you're probably going to be in the portal soon anyway, and then you'll have a chance to go where you really want. But C, if Ohio State is involved with them, and even if they are making their best sales pitch, and they have good relationships with Justin Fry in the past or Tyler Bowen now, Ohio State is not going to commit 7 figures to an offensive line prospect that would need a year or 2 minimum to get on the field. It is a developmental position.
It's not good business.
It's not good business. Jeremiah Smith, Devin Sanchez.
Good business.
Those are different conversations. You can get on the field.
Caleb Downs from Alabama right away. Between him and Ohio State. That's good business by Bama.
Good business. Other positions. I think even there's a case where you look at Tavian St. Clair. Did that require a massive influx of cash up front? No, not to the best of my knowledge. Some, yeah. Julian Sayin, same deal. But if you have to get physically ready somewhere like offensive line, offensive tackle, or tight end, you're not defensive tackle. You're not likely to see those massive payouts up front. And I don't think that Ohio State should change that approach.
I don't think that they should either. So anyways, that was the big news today in the recruiting scene. I did see this. Now, we'll just fast forward to the 2028 class.
Let's jet ahead.
Excuse me. Still dealing with this cough. It's been like 2.5 weeks I've had this sucker, so you're going to have to bear with me for another few days while I get through it. Marvin Harrison Jr. Are you aware of him?
I covered him.
Okay. I think everybody's aware of Marv, and you can put him at 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I'm not hearing any arguments outside of that where Marvin ranks all-time as an Ohio State receiver. He's way up the list for me. Marv, obviously tremendous. I'm not breaking any news there. 2028 wide receiver Jet Harrison, the younger brother out of St. Joe's Prep in Philadelphia, earned himself an offer from the Buckeyes. That would be a good bit of business. Remember Marv's whole recruiting cycle, too. Marv was never... He may have gotten a 5-star guy like at the very end, but he was a 4-star guy. It was him and Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord was more of a big deal, I feel like, if you go back and look at the recruiting numbers and you go back and look at the recruiting stars. And I think if I'm correct, it was between...
You're absolutely correct.
J.J. McCarthy and Kyle McCord in that class. It was like, hey, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously the son, he's got a great pedigree. He's Marvin Harrison's son. Let's bring him in here. Then Marvin's gone on to have the career that he had at Ohio State.
It wasn't even that easy. Let me just interject right there because it was down to Marvin Harrison Jr. or Bo Collins. And Ohio State would have taken whichever one was first. And I think someday I'm going to give Mark Pantoni truth serum and say, were you really convinced that Marv was going to be this guy? Because I know that people were evaluating and they didn't have a preference at that time. And I think even since then, talking to Brian Hartline, talking to others, Ryan Day, they'd say the guy that maybe most outperformed their expectations actually was Marvin Harrison Jr. They knew he was good. Did they think he was going to be in your top 4 all time? That was not the expectation.
No, it wasn't the expectation, certainly when he arrived here. And then you saw him in that Rose Bowl game and you said, oh, okay, well, he's been putting the work in for sure. So Ohio State offering 2028 wide receiver Jet Harrison. Yeah, at this point, you have to. Of course.
I think he probably had a wink, wink, nudge, nudge offer like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah, he had 300 yards in the Rose Bowl game.
You got a brother?
We're going to go ahead and offer you.
Hey, Big Marv, you got any other kids?
And then from yesterday, what we were talking about, Austin, big news for Ohio State and the latest commitment, Jordan Thomas out of New Jersey, 4-star guy, 176 in the composite rankings, number 18 cornerback out of Bergen Catholic, one of these big schools out in Jersey, class of 2026, 6'1", 185, again, plays cornerback, is your latest commitment to the Buckeyes. That happening yesterday.
Yeah, Tim Walton, Matt Guerreri, even Matt Patricia in some respects. I think he's been more involved in the recruiting process than definitely compared to Jim Knowles, but even setting aside that more than, and we can ask Berm about this in the 7 o'clock hour. I think his involvement, Matt Patricia's, has vastly exceeded even what Ryan Day was expecting because they've gone through this process just recently with Jim Knowles. Hey, the guys are going to get on campus. You can take them into the lab. You can show them your scheme. You can draw up plays. You can see how they're going to be used. I think Matt Patricia has been more involved in getting on the road, wanting to get his own set of eyes and evaluations on players than Ohio State ever envisioned. And that's nothing but a good thing. I across the board, Matt Patricia has definitely exceeded what I thought 3 months ago in every way. But if you're adding in a little bit of a bonus as a recruiter and you're seeing some of that show up already, and you're factoring that in with Tim Walton being a very high-level recruiter with corners, Matt Guerreri with safety, he's got the number 1 in the country committed to Ohio State. Mm-hmm. James Laurinaitis, we know what he's going to do. Larry Johnson's reputation over years and years and years for those high-level recruits. I mean, I guess I'm breaking a lot of news here that Ohio State's got it going.
They've got it going, and they have a pretty good strategy. So let them do their strategy, all right? You don't need to pay $5 million for 2 years for an offensive lineman straight out of high school. College Football Pulse is coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. Moving up payday so you could get your money faster. Up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. NBA playoffs continue tonight with the Cavs playing for their postseason lives in Game 5 against the Pacers. Indiana leads the series 3-1. Donovan Mitchell will go tonight for the Cavs. They get tipped off here at 7. Also tonight, Game 5 between Denver and Oklahoma City. Their series is tied at 2. Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum underwent surgery earlier today to repair a ruptured right Achilles tendon he suffered in last night's Game 4 loss to the Knicks. Major news in the baseball world, Pete Rose is among a list of players that have been removed from Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list and is now eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. In games tonight, the Reds open up a 2-game set with the Chicago White Sox. They're currently in a rain delay, but when they resume, it can be found right here on the Fan after the Buckeye Show. While the Guardians take on the Brewers tonight in Cleveland, they currently lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
As always, hour number 2 begins with the College Football Pulse. Good job on that update. Rhyme time. Reds delayed. By the way, weird weather out there. So it looks like the east side of town is getting or is about to get absolutely smoked. Where we're here at, very close to downtown, eye shot within lower.com field in Columbus, centrally located. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's sunshine out, but the east side looks absolutely diabolical.
The reflection does look a little darker than it did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's got me concerned.
Could get in a evening 9 where we're at.
Oh, listen to this guy.
What time we get off at 8?
Well, I'm just saying for how bright it is right now where we are.
We going remote? Taking the show on the road?
Take the Comrex. Couple of soda pops, the boys just playing 9. You know what? That's a great idea for a segment, Reimer. Or really not even a segment, just the show. Or just do the show
do the
from
show
the golf course.
We should.
We have remote capabilities.
We can stream it.
Yeah, we could do we can even YouTube it.
I think I unfortunately would have to be in here to make sure you guys are
not
on.
if you're an on-air part of the show, then we'd have somebody else in here running it.
That's true.
Wait,
Let's work on
teach Adam how to run it. He's not going anywhere. Just press the buttons.
Yeah.
He can have the YouTube stream just up on him. See, now we're making moves. The fan YouTube stream would be on him, which is what the people want to watch. We golf out there. We
The
do
Ridge
show.
Golf and Gardens.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Hey, I saw Bill Belichick doing some more. Is he in the College Football Pulse again today, Rhyme Time?
I did not get that one in today.
That's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll catch up on that tomorrow. There may be more tomorrow.
He's loving ACC Media Days.
Yeah,
he
seems to be having a great time. What a great interview. Anyway, what do you got for us?
So the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said Monday he was up for anything when asked about a President Donald Trump proposed commission on collegiate athletics.
Try anything once.
Yeah. Reports presented themselves last week that Trump was going to create the commission. Baker noted the NCAA has already spent time in the nation's capital asking for congressional help that is focused on three big issues. Among the biggest, a patchwork of state laws that relate to how collegiate athletics work in individual states and whether student athletes should be considered employees. You guys think this move could help improve college athletics?
I think that there would be some order, at least. And if that's what people are after, then it seems like Nick Saban would have a pretty good idea of what goes on in the intricacies of college football, because he's rumored to be the person in charge alongside of some guy, gigantic Texas businessman. I think I'm blanking on his name right now. Of course, Charlie Baker wants the White House to get involved. He wants the Senate to get involved. He wants Congress to get involved. That's what he did for a living. He didn't have to do anything when those guys get involved.
All they ever want is help from someone else.
That's it.
And I feel like saying this out loud about anything is asking for trouble, but it's like, how could this possibly hurt it? Let somebody who actually has power come in and help. Now, the unintended consequences when you do that, you might not like the thing that they come up with.
Yeah.
Because
this is bad for us. This puts us out of business. You wanted our help. We got the issue fixed.
And here's what they're going to say. The same thing that we all say every single time. They must be employees. I'm sorry, university presidents. I think the athletic directors have largely given up on that one.
Yeah.
They're accepting.
I think if you ask Ross Bjork that right now, he's like, yeah.
I think they would all say, yeah, we would like to have some contracts. And I know 100% of college football coaches are going to say, yes, we would very much like these contracts. Where can I sign them? Where can I hand them out?
Where can I get them to sign?
Yeah, where can I have extra pens, please? They would be doing that in a heartbeat. But it is always the hardest part is to get these commissioners and presidents and administrators to get on board. If this is what it's going to take, great. I'm skeptical of it, but it doesn't hurt to have more people involved, or it shouldn't hurt. I guess I should knock on wood. Who knows what will happen, but there is high-level investment because, as you said, Beamer, the House, the Senate, now the President of the United States, they have all taken an interest in this, and they know that what's going on right now is untenable into the future.
He was asked whether he felt the creation of a commission would enhance the NCAA's chances at legislative relief, which also is a big thing that you need. I know Uncle Bo says, like, know the scores. All right, the NCAA gets smoked every year in legal fees, like absolutely smoked. I don't know what it was for the fiscal year 2023, but it's somewhere in the mid hundreds of millions. And now with this House settlement, it's got to be even more. So he said, I don't have a crystal ball on that one. I don't know. I do think, though, it's quite clear at this point there are a lot of people interested in college sports, and we need some help at some point to create some clarity around some of these issues in Washington. We don't need help on that. You need help with the clarity in college football. You don't need help with the clarity in Washington. And he said creating clarity one lawsuit at a time is just a really bad way to move forward. I don't know if I have ever agreed with anybody in the NCAA more within that last part of that answer. Creating clarity one lawsuit at a time is just a really bad way to try to move forward. And that's what they have been trying to do for years and years and years. And Mark Emmert was the best at it. Like, he would kick that can so far down the road that he's out of there and retiring before all of this blew up in his face. And it doesn't matter to him, and I'm still sure he's getting a nice little pension from that.
Yeah, he doesn't have to work a day in his life. I'm not sure if he was working that many days before that. Yeah. So, there's a part of this that the government has been forced to become involved. And it's not because, we don't like the amount of money. It's that you have individual states saying, well, I think Georgia, Florida,
California, I think, was an early
Tennessee.
adapter. Virginia.
But they're saying, well, we'll just, exempt this from state income tax, NIL money.
And then the federal government comes in and said, we can't.
And then
do
you have
that.
other citizens of those states saying, what?
Yeah.
I'm a Georgia Tech fan. I don't want Georgia getting $2 million for their safeties. I'm not footing the bill for that.
Also, you're a public university.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I want my answers.
So that they have been forced. I don't think it's out of the goodness of their heart. They just now have other constituents that are saying, hey, this doesn't make any sense. You might need to look at it. And they finally are.
Which is a good thing, I think, for everybody.
Let's hope so.
Next up, in an article on CBS Sports by Will Backus, he listed
David's brother.
He listed his post-spring top 25 in each of their most important games. Ohio State at number 1. He has it as Michigan as their most important game in 2025. Yes, it's the game, and they've lost 4 straight, but would you put another game on the schedule as most important?
I don't know about most important, but most intriguing for me is straight out of the chutes in Texas. You want to find out what you're about this year? You want to find out if your quarterback's any good? You want to find out if it's cause for concern, all this talk we've done in the offseason about trying to reload and put pieces in that defensive line? It's intriguing. I don't know if it's the most important because we've seen plenty of teams lose one of their first few games and go on to compete for a national championship, especially now in a 12-team college football playoff. I mean, you look at Notre Dame, look what they did last year. I mean, they lost to Northern Illinois and then bounced back, had a nice little time, played in the championship game, fought for a national championship pretty valiantly. It's the last thing for Ryan Day. That's it. Like, you're out here collecting Infinity Stones now, and I think in order to get back to Indianapolis, something that they have not done since the 2020 COVID season, I don't think there's any other game that you're looking at least from a Buckeyes perspective, what is more important? Yeah, it's that one. It's that one. It's always going to be that one at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, I think when you make this list, it's easy to put the game there because it is the best rivalry in college sports and maybe in any kind of sport that's ever been made.
Yelling at each other about national championship or winning that game.
I'm just saying that in terms of the actual rivalry itself, it is still the best, and you can compare yourself any number of ways. But I know that game is important, and I'm not going to say it's not. Texas is important too. But I think when you make these lists, it's sometimes you just like, well, I don't want to get yelled at by saying that it might be Texas or it might be what I think is the most important game, which is going to be Penn State. I still just am not convinced.
I think there's a rational argument for any 3 of those games.
I mean, I don't know what Michigan is going to be this year. They weren't very good last year.
No.
They were pretty average. Now, they came up with a great performance when they needed it. I think some of it was more Ohio State self-inflicted wounds, but we don't have to talk about that game anymore ever again, at least until November. I guess we'll have to do that a lot. But, Penn State, for not being a rivalry for either one, because Penn State is unrivaled and Ohio State has one rival, this has been the most competitive series overall in the Big Ten since I've covered it. Now, some of them have been lopsided, some of them have been weird, and some of them have got squirrely. But you have a number of folks out there putting together their way too early top 25, their preseason top 25s, and they're coming around on the idea that, hey, we think Penn State is number 1. You have Drew Lauer coming back.
It's Texas and Penn State usually now who are fighting for that 1 or 2 spot.
And that's another reason why I think that's you look at these games, and I put Texas a little bit to the side because of something that you said. It's the first week, and you can bounce back from that. It's also outside of the Big Ten. I think Penn State and Ohio State are the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. So they're going to play each other. There's also a fascinating subplot with the defensive coordinator who went over there. I think that game is really, really important because if you stumble against Texas, Penn State becomes a heck of a lot more important.
Yeah, it does. Or if you get out of the gate strong against Texas, you have the ability to then stumble. And then that Michigan game, if you do stumble against Penn State, becomes way more important.
No, you're right.
Not to say that it's not important, but you catch
those were your words.
I know that they were. I literally just said them. I said them, which was bad. It was interesting, though. I'm reading this article. And number 2 is Texas, Rhyme, and their most important game is Georgia. So it's not Ohio State. That's Georgia. That's an SEC rival. They had a tough time with them last year. Yeah. I get that from their perspective.
Yeah, and I think especially in this day and age where you have a clear path of mulligans with the expanded college football playoff, especially if you are one of the brand name teams and in in either the Big Ten or the SEC. It should come down to your conference championship race if you are those teams at the top. So, that's why for me, I just flat out expect Penn State to be better than Michigan. I think that'd be a more competitive game and more telling for where Ohio State, it may well be about seeding instead of getting into the playoff, but that doesn't make it any less important. It may be about clinching a spot in the Big Ten championship game when it's been too long since the Buckeyes have been there. So I think that's why it's important. It's also at home, so that ups the importance a little bit and stakes. Again, that's not to suggest that the last game of the regular season is not important, or that just because it's on the road that it is tolerable to lose it. I'm not suggesting that at all, but I just think Penn State is the most marquee game.
I also think that and I know that he's not because they got to a Final Four in a college football playoff, but I'd have to think that he's under a mass amount of pressure over there, James Franklin at Penn State. I mean, wouldn't you?
He's been under that pressure.
I know that they're unrivaled. I know that the standard is the standard here. That same standard doesn't apply to them over there. But
sure doesn't seem to.
No, it doesn't. He's bad in top 25 games. I don't know. I don't have the record right in front of me, but it's awful. It's putrid.
It's 1 in a billion.
It's not good.
He's been under that pressure. And the fact that he continually falls short against Ohio State has not really impacted his job security in any way. In fact, 2 years ago,
look like?
It became even more secure. Oregon.
They get that at home. They have to have that game at home.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's their first Big Ten game of the year.
I think that was their most important game listed for Penn State. I think
Oregon's?
Yeah.
But I think if you ask anyone in Happy Valley, what is the game that they most have to win? If they're going to achieve what they want, it's Ohio State. So I think both sides can make a compelling case that is the most important game because, yes, it is possible that they can lose it and still get to a Big Ten championship game or still win the college football playoff. But, boy, if you're Ryan Day, you also don't want to cede this higher ground to James Franklin and let him get any traction.
No.
Just bury him good and – okay, they think
you down there
because Penn State thinks that they've duplicated the Ohio State blueprint of retain your players and bring them back.
It's not close,
and then bring in Jim Knowles.
It's not the same thing.
Ryan Day and James Franklin are not the same.
They are no, they're not, and it's also very different off seasons.
Yeah,
you look at the caliber of player that Ohio State had coming back from last year, and just the sheer amount of them. Look at the draft. Look at what just happened in the draft a couple of weeks ago. It's just different. It's very, very different. Hey, we've got a new former Buckeye joining the coaching ranks in the college football realm. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I think I just wrote the song of the summer. Listen.
That's just you drinking a Big Gulp from Speedway.
And just 89 cents for any size with Speedy Rewards? That's a hit. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Donato's is bringing you huge savings on a large pizza. For a limited time, get any large one-topping Donato's pizza for just $10.99 when you order online and pick it up. That's right, just $10.99. I'm going with that pepperoni. But hey, you pick your favorite topping, then pick up your large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 when you order online using promo code PICKUP. That's promo code PICKUP. Pick up your Donato's and save today.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Bishop and Friends.
If you travel across the country routinely on planes with 5 people, including 3 children, you do the Amazing Race every time you get on a plane.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy, mild, and damp on this Tuesday. Scattered showers and a few storms possible. Temperatures in the low 70s. Overnight will fall back down to around 60 degrees. And after a dry start to your Wednesday, scattered showers and a possible thunderstorm Wednesday afternoon with high temperatures in the mid-70s. Tracking possible storms. 10 weather impact alert late Thursday and Thursday night with temperatures back in the 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
You never know who you're going to run into here at this radio station.
I didn't have Murph on my bingo card.
I mean, I know that
he doesn't even want to be on. He just leaves.
I know that Adam. You want to come on? Come on. Come on, sit here. Sit in the chair next to Austin. I mean, Adam King usually just shoves himself here on the show, which is great. We love to have him on. He was on with us earlier. Berm's going to join us here in our next segment, as we're now joined by Bucknut's very own. He is Patrick Murphy. What are you doing down here? Why are you here? I turned on the wrong microphone. Should work now.
Okay, there we go. Well, I live right by here, first of all, and I was driving sort of by here, and I was listening to you guys, and I was planning on doing this.
Let's just come on by. Just pop in.
Just pop in.
Well, you know, it's here. It's easily accessible if you know where you're going. But I was going to come yesterday for your first evening show, but you got out of here too quickly.
I did motor out of here pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, you've got things going on.
Not really. I mean, at that point in time, like right now, hopefully Willie's going down to bed.
Big Willie's in bed.
Yeah, I got nothing really to get home for.
Yeah, he's going to leave with you and go to the bar after this now.
Yeah, that's true. Should I text Mayor? Mayor, it's going to be a late night tonight. Hanging out with Murph. We're going to go down to the tap.
The Reds are in a delay. We're just doing an extra hour of the Buckeye Show.
Yeah, we have to. So sorry, everybody. And I'm telling this to my wife, we have to delay until the Reds get back in action because we have no program.
We don't know.
We just have to go live until they resume play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, though, we do have a way that she can check that.
Oh, wait.
There's multiple different ways that she can stream and listen.
So she knows how to turn on a radio or an app.
Yeah, unlike your lovely bride-to-be, Sarah, who I guess does not enjoy listening to the radio but likes listening on the app.
Well, she usually listens in her car, but she wanted to listen to you yesterday and asked me how to go about doing that. She was like, is there a radio? I was like, we have a radio. There's also an app. And she was like, well, is it the same? And I was like, yes, you will hear the same thing.
Actually quicker on the radio because we're on like a 30-second delay usually on the app. Now, I haven't checked my bitrate speed on the app when I get in there and am able to tinker with some things from time to time. I haven't checked that, but it's usually a longer delay on the app, at least than it is live radio and on the YouTube stream. The YouTube stream's pretty quick.
I always say that you just don't explain enough how to listen to the radio.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm really bad
It needs
at
to
that.
be hammered home.
I'm telling you, I've worked in radio for forever. It was my first job out of college. I'm lucky to be here. I have no clue how any of this works.
You just push the button.
I know you push the button, but then via
You didn't
magic...
even push the button right to turn your mic
No,
on.
I didn't.
I mean in
turned
your
the wrong
car.
one on. Yes, you push the button on your car, Pat. We push a button here, and then via magic and some invisible airwaves, our voices are able to get to you driving in your car.
Well, nowadays we all do podcasts.
Yeah.
So like it's so easy now. There's no explanation needed. It just does it.
It's magic.
Yeah.
What were you writing about today? What was your Buckeye storyline of the day?
I wrote about, what did I write? I ranked
the 10 positions at Ohio State?
I did rank the position groups.
I read it. May or may not be featured on tomorrow's sheet prominently when I was filling out the show sheet for tomorrow.
Well, I won't spoil anything, but
we can't talk about it now?
We're talking about it tomorrow, too.
I got some flack from those.
Oh, because you didn't put, why? I don't want to spoil it.
There was, I won't say what it is, where it is, but there was a disagreement on our message boards about where I ranked the safeties versus the running backs.
You had, I don't want to steal from the paywall, but you had the running backs higher than the safeties?
It's a free story, so anyone can read it. I did, yes.
Okay, now let me pivot to this question then. Here's a natural follow-up to that. Are the running backs in the top half of the 10?
No, I don't think so.
Were you including Caleb Downs as a running back? Is that why they were higher than safeties?
No. But Caleb Downs is only one man. I don't want to spoil your
He's like
idea
4 men, though.
Well,
he's the best player in college football, aside from maybe his running mate on the other side of the football.
He's the best defensive player in college football. And
Who's the best college football? Who's the best player in college football?
Jeremiah Smith.
Okay.
Well, I did take that into account when ranking the top position group. So I'd be happy.
Wide receivers number 1.
I think that's an easy one.
That was a simple one.
Just copy and paste from the last 5 years. Brian Hartline's here. Yeah. He's got another 5-star that's just shown up in spring camp. He looks pretty good too.
Change the names of the receivers, and you can just roll with it.
Are you going to be writing about Jet Harrison in 2029?
I did. I wrote just a basic, hey, they offered this kid, who is Marvin's brother, story the other day, which is not really what I do, but Bill Kurlick was busy with other more important recruiting things. I was like, this seems, people will be interested in this. And Marvin had talked about him. I found that clip.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
What are you most looking forward to when you get into these months outside of hanging out at a patio near you?
That was it.
Yeah, okay.
and vacation at the end of the month.
Randomly popping into the studio to surprise
Just because you can.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Why did you never do that in the mornings?
I think you know the answer to that. You were lucky if I rolled over in bed and found the app on my phone while I was trying to fall back asleep.
I think there were plenty of people who did that, Pat.
It will be interesting to see if I do get a phone call from those guys. I may get my mornings completely to sleep in now that you're not bugging me to come on.
Well, I like bugging you because you always said yes.
I did. Almost always.
Almost always.
Yeah.
How many did you miss?
Ooh.
We got to have a count.
I think you guys were always pretty good. I think you have more of a hit rate of not answering than Pat did. Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Not answering. You guys always answered the phone. You never skipped out on us, but telling no. And that was simply because you were on vacation. And I think it was the same for you, Pat. But
I
Pat
did
and
a
worked out 'cause
number
they
of
were-
vacations. I will not stand for this.
They were different days of the week. And I, being the good friend that I am, always would look at the Lakers schedule to see when they played because I know Pat's a big Lakers fan. I would look at to see if United had a game that day or if I would look to see if there was a crew game. And if any of those impeded on Pat's ability to appear on the show, then I would avoid it.
He knows me so well. I will tell you this, now that you aren't in the morning show, there's conversation, and Austin can probably back this up, on the beat about like when you get that text from Brandon Beam, it's like,
this jerk.
And like, you're such a great guy that everyone wants to do it for you, but it just means.
Why don't you guys like waking up early in the morning? What's wrong with you?
Well, Austin now has a child.
Yeah.
But he can probably remember back before then.
Yeah, it's not as much of an issue for me now.
Right. But when I'm talking to some of the younger guys that have chosen not to have children, whatever the case may be.
Or they don't know their children.
That's true.
Who might that be? But yeah, no, it is funny. No, but I always enjoyed doing those. You and Bobby certainly got me up in the morning, but I don't even remember what your question. What I look most forward to about this time of year. I assume you mean on the Ohio State level.
On the Ohio State front.
Yeah, I mean it's
the
nice.
Buckeye show, Pat. We got to tie it back in somehow.
Right. I think people assume, and Austin, you probably know this, like when you talk to people who aren't super familiar, they're like, "Oh, this is like your summer, like you're a teacher," and it's like, well, we need content on the website or the podcasts or whatever it may be. So
that did used to be true when I first started in this line of work 20 years ago.
But I would say that you have to be more creative at this time of year coming up with whatever you're going to write about, but it also gives you more freedom and there's just more free time. You're not going to things, there'll be recruiting camps in June that I know we both pop into at times. But there is more, you have your day to kind of plan out, okay, I want to get this stuff done. Yes, I have to be more creative with it, but I also can do other, house things and stuff like that.
What house things do you have to do? You got nothing to do around the house.
You should see the amount of dishes piled up right now that fortunately Sarah is not going to come home to because she's working late and then going to a friend's house. But I've
throw them in the dishwasher, Pat. It's not that hard.
I don't have a dishwasher.
Okay, well,
I do.
That's why he's got house things.
I do have a washer and dryer though, and there's a lot of dirty clothes in my basement that need cleaned.
So basically, you're just stalling. You came in here to stall from the chores that you have when you got home.
He said, "Oh no, there's dishes I have to do. I'm just gonna hang in for a segment."
No wonder you hated.
What was that, Austin? You said to come in.
No wonder you hated getting up at 7:30. If doing the dishes and washing your clothes are hard.
No, they're not hard. It hasn't gotten done yet. And the clothes, I mean, my closet has basically become the basement because I don't have enough room. And
do we need to call somebody for you? Is this like a hoarder situation?
Well, the man's got 100 soccer jerseys.
I know, and 99 of them are United jerseys and Crew jerseys.
I just have a lot of clothes. I don't throw clothes away.
So you are a hoarder.
In that aspect, I have a shirt that I got. No one cares about this.
Everyone cares.
I have a shirt that I got at a soccer camp in 1996 that I still own and can wear. Now, I only wear it to like the gym or maybe as like an undershirt because it is a little tight. I mean, this says how much I've grown since 1996, which is not a ton. But yeah, I unless the clothes are torn or whatever, like, why am I throwing out? I did recently give some shorts and some T-shirts away.
There you go.
So I am getting better, but that was not my idea.
You're amazing. I think we do need to call hoarder help. Sarah, God bless you. If you're listening at work, you're awesome. Pat, thanks for popping by. Hopefully, we'll be seeing and hearing from you very soon, okay?
You will.
Okay. Yeah. Is that a confirmation?
Yep. I sent the stuff in today.
Okay. All right. Pat's going to be hosting some of the shows with me, so it's very good. Thanks for popping in, Pat. Good luck with your chores tonight. Or good luck at a patio when the Reds are delayed and we're filling on air. Berm, he's going to join us coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. in partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with Austin here on this beautiful Tuesday. Does look like it's getting dark outside, which is no good. Right now, we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Checking in with one half of the dynamic duo. The other half is sitting to the right of me. The other one is currently, I believe, in Michigan. He is Berm. Hey, Berm. What's happening? Happy Tuesday.
Hey, I want to be clear that I point something out to you and that it's always darkest before the dawn.
Oh. It is true.
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah, I've been sitting around just kind of thinking about different adages and what I'd like to be remembered for. And that's one of them.
Someone should put that in a movie, maybe around a superhero and a supervillain. I think that would be a good fit.
Yeah, well, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And
that's deep.
Yeah, so.
You ever thought about just writing a book of adages?
I've considered it, but, you know, in every life, some rain must fall, and I don't have the time for that.
You're remarkable. Hey, what's going on with the Buckeye recruiting? Austin and I tried our best to go on the trail earlier.
Oh, how'd that go?
It went great. We were talking about Jackson Cantwell, how it was maybe an option for Ohio State, even though they were a finalist, even though they weren't really a finalist. It was between Georgia and Miami. He ended up going to Miami. I think we did pretty well on that. We mentioned Jet Harrison, the younger brother of Marvin Harrison Jr., in the class of 2028, receiving an offer from Ohio State. And then to cap it all off, Berm, we were talking about the big-time commitment that Tim Walton got in his group and Jordan Thomas out of Bergen Catholic out of New Jersey. So I feel like we did an okay job, but you were the expert.
Yeah, this has been great. Thanks for calling, guys. Have a good night. No, honestly, the funny thing about the Jackson Cantwell decision is not that Ohio State was included in the Final Four, because I understand why they were. It was ultimately a Georgia and Miami decision in the last couple of days, and over the last couple of weeks, Ohio State really has not been involved because they weren't able to get their track and field coaches aligned with Jackson Cantwell and his family, because that's something he wants to do at the next level as well. So that is a part of the puzzle. But what we learned really is that Ohio State is willing to play ball here for one of these national offensive tackles in 2026, because the number in the Jackson Cantwell recruitment has been hovering around $2 million a year. And Ohio State was involved. And Ohio State. Now the question becomes: did the Buckeyes get involved in order to goose them a little bit, to make sure Miami, Oregon, Georgia, et cetera, would have had to pay out the nose? Maybe, but it kept them in the conversation. And the Buckeyes have a really good offensive tackle committed with Sam Greer from Akron-Hoban. They are very much in the mix for Felix Ojo, who is a five-star offensive tackle from Texas. And if they're willing to be in the conversation with Jackson Cantwell around the $2 million a year mark, then that certainly makes for some interesting conversation heading into official visit season, and Felix Ojo's a visit coming up the next 3 weeks.
Berm, I guess it's impossible to know for sure. But if Ohio State is getting that involved at that level financially, that would be a pretty noticeable shift in philosophy, because it seems like Ohio State is much more willing and has been more willing to spend that money on portal tackles with multiple years of experience, because they, in the previous couple cycles, have been unwilling to pay that amount of money for someone who is not going to play for at least one season and maybe two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true, but I think it can be true on both counts, which is that at some point you can't keep relying on these offensive linemen to be developed somewhere else. And so you're paying for it one way or the other because you're overpaying for underdeveloped tackles later in the process, or you're maybe overpaying for them early in the process. And I don't know that there's a perfect answer to it. I think it's a case-by-case basis. But the Buckeyes have a serious need at offensive tackle depth, and at some point you're going to have to pay for one. And a guy like Jackson Cantwell is pretty close to a can't-miss type of prospect. And so we'll see what happens in his career over the next 2.5, 3 years in Coral Gables or wherever he transfers to after a year. But it is going to be a conversation Ohio State's going to have because you can't keep – the fact is there's 2 or 3 5-star offensive tackles in every cycle, and you can't miss on all of them all the time. So the Buckeyes are fortunate because Sam Guerrero is in the state of Ohio, and he's got that sort of ability. He's maybe not as developed at this point, maybe not as far along in his mechanical journey, but he's got all the athletic traits to be that type of guy. So you feel like you're getting a little bit of a discount because you've got one local. But as we've seen with Albert Hill, the cornerback from Hoban, who's Sam Guerrero's teammate, local doesn't mean the guys are always going to come to Ohio State, so you're still going to have to pay for them. So it's just this is the way of the world. Until there's some rules, that number is going to keep going up and up and up. If you're an offensive tackle at Miami right now, in that much money, do you play for the Hurricanes? That's where the questions have to start being answered, I think.
He is Berm with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, Berm, we're getting into all kinds of crazy stuff recruiting in this next month and change or so. Who should Ohio State fans be on the lookout for possible commitments, possible finals? What are some of the names we're kind of looking at around the country locally about some possible commitments for Ohio State?
It's an interesting class, guys. Like they have 13 commitments right now, but there's 4 receivers and there's 4 defensive backs and there's 3 offensive linemen. So 11 of the 13 commits are in 3 positions. And so that means there's actually a lot of meat left on the bone for Ohio State. At running back, they're going to host the top 2 running backs in the country, Savion Hyder from Virginia and Derek Cooper from Florida, for official visits in the next few weeks. Wide receiver, they're wrapped up. Now they're still looking for another tight end if possible, and they're going to see a guy from Illinois named Max Sutter on campus for an official visit next month. But I think that Corbin Fordham, the kid committed from Florida, is probably where they're going to stick. And then all of this stuff comes down to a couple key players from here on out. There's anybody on the defensive line. If anyone would like to commit to Ohio State, now would be a good time.
I concur.
That continues to be a puzzle because Larry Johnson's style is so different than anyone else, and it is really hard to know where his priorities are. At linebacker, Ohio State is waiting for Sincere Johnson, the 4-star from Cleveland Glenville, to make a decision. He's kind of the next iteration of the Arvell Reese archetype, very, very athletic guy that the Buckeyes love. He's going to choose ultimately, I think, between Ohio State and Alabama. Then the next one that's going to be really interesting to watch over these next, 6 weeks is Tyler Atkinson, a linebacker from Georgia, and Braylon Womack, a safety from Mississippi. Those 2 have the ability to really shape the overall tenor of this class. Tyler Atkinson is going to be interesting because there are teams like Auburn and USC and Oregon who are willing to pay him in that $2.5 million a year range, which is crazy for a linebacker. Ohio State and Georgia, however, are the 2 teams that everyone believes are the favorites, and those 2 are willing to offer decidedly less. So it's going to make it for an interesting discussion and decision for Tyler Atkinson and his family to parse through, because the question is, do you want to go somewhere and be developed? Do you want to go somewhere and get paid? And I think that they're going to have to make a decision between one or the other. Georgia obviously is exceptional when it comes to linebacker play and outside linebacker play, and James Laurinaitis is working on that for the Buckeyes. But Tyler Atkinson is a top 5 overall player, and the conversation is going to be really, really interesting. Braylon Womack at safety from Mississippi is the number 2 rated safety in the country. Ohio State has the number 1 rated safety in the country committed. So the question is, how do you balance them both? And is Braylon Womack, who's loved Ohio State from the start, is at Ohio State as his top school for almost a year, does he love them enough to take a discount? And these are the conversations we've never really had to entertain before, but now is the time.
National championship ring, Berm, or pair of gold pants?
What year is it? And how long has it been since Ohio State will beat Michigan?
It was last year.
Then I would take the one that happened.
Okay. All right. We were having a very long discussion about this earlier, and Austin was championing you as the Ohio State versus Michigan, no matter what, nothing else matters.
No, I mean, I think it matters quite a bit, but I also think that, I was listening to Austin and Adam the King on this morning's episode of the Austin and Berm Show, The Beat, on Tabs, which you can find on 10 TV Plus.
Don't do that out here.
There was a lot of conversation about that game, and I think that there's a point well made by Adam the King, which is if it's been 30 years, no one cares how many times you beat Michigan in those 30 years if you don't win the national championship. So I think there's a balance somewhere between beating Michigan every other year and winning a national championship every 5 or 6 would be a happy medium that I'd be willing to accept as a Buckeye fan for eternity.
Look at us creating synergy and connections from our evening show onto our digital platform show, Austin and Berm. Look at you guys go. Look at you go.
He's really trying so hard to make this Tabs thing stick.
I mean, it's a perfect acronym.
I think I agree with that. I just can't wait to have you on the next time to see what more great adages you've come up with since this time.
I'll get to work on some.
Bye, Berm. See you later.
See you guys. Bye.
There he goes. Berm with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. You can listen and watch The Beat with Austin and Berm on 10 TV Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Except today it was with Adam King.
It gets very confusing on these shows.
Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. That's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
Rothman and Ice.
When you're paying a guy this amount of money, you either feel like you're right there and he's going to put you over the top, or you've got the runway to get it done.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, by the way, too, we're here on the Buckeye Show. Brought to you by the Silver Bullets Coors Light.
When the mountains turn blue, it's go time.
I just know that I love those mountains, and I love when they're blue. By the way, top of the hour, we will get you to the Reds against the White Sox.
Maybe.
That game, I did see a little update, slated to resume, a.k.a. begin, at 8:25 p.m. So we're about 35 minutes away from first pitch down in Cincinnati.
Okay. Big night of celebration.
Yeah.
For Pete Rose.
For sure it is. I mean, obviously, that was the storyline of today in all of sports. It was like later today. Wasn't it like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock when that came out that Pete Rose actually eligible now for the Hall of Fame. An historic sweeping decision. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, Austin's guy, on Tuesday removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players from Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list. The all-time hit king and Jackson, both longtime baseball pariahs, stained by gambling, seen by Major League Baseball as the game's mortal sin, are now eligible for election into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. I mean, that was obviously groundbreaking news, but we also knew that that was going to be the case the minute that we found out that Pete Rose was dead, that he was going to, you have served your sentence in this life or the next. Pete, you're going to be eligible to go into the Hall of Fame, and that's what they did.
Why didn't they just call it a life sentence then? I know,
They
easier. He could have signed all those bajillions of autographs. Future Hall of Famer, Pete Rose. Got a different inscription on there.
I mean, there's a great picture of my stepmom and Pete Rose. They were out in Las Vegas somewhere.
Yeah, there was a sports memorabilia shop that's in Caesar's Palace.
Is this where it was at?
Yeah, he was there all the time.
Okay.
It's back when I was covering the Mountain West, back in those days when I was banging.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Vegas 9-10 times a year covering. And I would just, I don't know, I'm going to go walk around inside Caesar's. I must have seen
Did he have a line all the time?
No, it was like you could just walk up and he's sitting there and he's like, you pay your $50, your $100.
It can't be 50. It's got to be more. It's Pete Rose.
He was signing like every day, living in Vegas. I think it was like,
what a great life.
I'm not mad about it for him. Like, it turned out pretty well. It looked like he was having a great time. There were always a couple side pieces with him that, I
think he tried to procure my stepmom as one of those, because my dad tells a great story, because my dad's a big Reds fan, but my dad is also the guy who took me to the Chicago Bears convention that really wanted Gale Sayers' autograph and employed me to do it for him. Like, he was too scared to ask these guys, and I get it, and I'm kind of that way too. Like, I don't want to bother you, but they are at a convention. This is what they're there for. They are legends of the team, and Pete Rose, same way, being at Caesar's Palace. So he had my stepmom walk up, like, hey, can you autograph this for me? This is great. My dad was getting a picture, and then he just put her arm around her. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? guys want to go get some dinner later?
There's a cheesecake factory right next to this sports memorabilia shop.
And my stepmom was like, no, thanks, Pete. I appreciate it. My dad said, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you take it? You should have.
That was the part of the story I wanted to leave out, was that like we didn't have Cheesecake Factory in Casper or Laramie. So it was like we actually wasted time. You have anywhere you could possibly want to go eat, any kind of food, any kind of drink on the Vegas Strip. And like me and my buddies or people I'd work with went way too often to the Caesars Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
But Pete Rose was hanging out.
That's like Reimer going to Disney World for the food. That's, by the way, Jacob, I've worked here for a long time. I've heard a lot of crazy things said on these airwaves. That might be top 5 craziest thing anyone has ever said in front of a microphone here. Yes. Really? I asked her, are you a Disney adult? Adam King replied, I don't love the characters, but I do like the rides. Okay, I can get there. You're a thrill seeker. Then I fired it at you. You're a Disney adult. What brings you back? I love the food?
Yeah. No. He started with, I love the characters.
Dude, you're 25 years old. All right? You're about to have a baby girl, which is fine. Like, you can get excited. You can get to take her and share that experience with her, and it'll be all good. You said, I'm there for the characters. That's a crazy thing to say out loud.
I will say, we went on my honeymoon, and my wife forced me to ride a majority of the rides.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to do it again.
Not doing it again.
I'll ride some.
All right.
I'll ride some.
Well, who's your favorite character to meet?
I don't know. I don't.
Come on, you can't say I'm a big character guy and then not get excited about the characters.
I said the food.
No, you said
food.
All right, we're going to have to go back.
Maybe he was joking when he said, no, I don't like the rides. I like the characters. He was just flipping it on King.
I'm going to go back, and we have a traffic thing that we can go back and pull anything from this radio station.
I know what he said.
Austin and I are both in agreement. It's 1,000% what you said. And if now you're just going to become the Disney character guy, you got to lean into some character. Say Mickey Mouse. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Mickey.
That's a terrible answer.
No, you don't go there to meet Mickey.
I like Woody from Toy Story.
There you go. Okay, perfect.
Head on over to Hollywood Studios. Head on back to Toy Story Land.
Man, I'm a menace on Toy Story Mania.
Oh, I loved it.
You and my 2-year-old can get together and hang out, talk about Woody and Buzz.
I need some new competition because Liberty and Allie cannot hang with me on Toy Story Mania.
What is it?
It's a 3D shooter game.
Okay.
You gotta shoot at targets.
Is it like does the ride move or are you stationary?
Yeah, you move. But it's more fast paced and more active than Buzz Lightyear, which is just like the slow moving dark ride shooting targets. This is engaging. This is 3D.
Yeah, this is something I would like to do. That would be fun. I feel like.
Well, let's go.
Okay. Spring break.
The next time that we take, after we do our mobile on location golf show, the next one will be at Disney World, and we'll go follow around Rhyme Time as he meets characters.
I did see this for hashtag Buckeyes actually pertaining to Ohio State in this segment. Big congratulations to head coach Lisa Strom, head coach of the Ohio State women's golf program. They're getting their NCAA tournament underway here this weekend. She was named to the Division I Jackie Steinman National Coach of the Year watch list. Way to go, Coach.
All right.
Good season. Carrie Hollenbaugh putting in one heck of a season.
Man.
Making the cut down to the Augusta National Women's Amateur back in April. So we got that to look forward to. I feel like they're going to do some damage this weekend.
Yeah, just the accolades are piling up for that team. And they don't have to be impacted by this weather because they can just pop into the facility. And I'm still trying to get us invited, Beam.
Oh, I got you invited. We can go whenever you want.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You never said that on Morning Juice.
Whenever you want. Well, you never asked it on the other show.
Okay, that's true. I did now.
Yeah, whenever you want. Let's go.
You got the codes?
I have the codes.
Holy moly.
Where do you think I sharpened this game during the winter?
I didn't think you did. You said you shot 98 when you got to Pinehurst.
Because it was cold and windy and about 40 degrees outside, fresh off of a 10-hour drive.
Well, scared to be great is what it sounds like to me.
It wasn't the next day when I fired.
You didn't get vertigo, did you?
No, I didn't. Actually, I probably did at some point. But you know what? I managed to make all my tee times, Reimer. You know why? I'm not scared of those bright lights up there. Okay? Nope. You better be here on Monday.
I will be.
You have any of those duck hook pale ales down there?
I did. By the way, too, side note, before we get out of here, before we get you to Reds baseball that starts at 8:25, so who cares if I hit my out time tonight? Pinehurst, fantastic. All right? They have a terrible bar.
You don't like sitting out there on the deuce?
I feel like it would be much better. Like it used to be in this ballroom. Now they have built it up, but like the patio could be so much better.
I think, well, they had to adjust it for the U.S. Open. It'll be back to normal.
Austin, had a great time today. What do you say we do this on Thursday? We got Wide Receiver Wednesday with DeVere tomorrow.
I'll be here Thursday and Friday.
Everybody have an awesome night. The Reds are up next. They're beginning to slate at 8:25 tonight against the White Sox. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by a easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat to purr on my lap, and of course 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown sausage crumble and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system. Building strong, lasting relationships, we're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com.